All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started in just a minute or two. All right. We see some people coming in. Thank you for joining us. All right. We're going to give it one more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and get set up. All right, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our May Career Connections webinar. My name is Brent Gregorio, and I will be your host today. We're very excited to have HCA Florida here to discuss career opportunities in the healthcare sector. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel within 48 hours. As well, we will send a link to the recording along with the presentation to anyone who registered or attended today's session. Because this is a webinar format, all lines are muted, but we do really want to hear from you. So you can ask questions using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. As we move through the presentation, feel free to type your questions in that Q&A box. We'll leave about 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the session for questions. So, today, again, my name is Brent Gregorio. I'm the Director of Client Services at the Women's Resource Center. I am joined by Amanda, who is the Human Resource Business Partner at HCA Florida Blake Hospital. And then again, after Amanda's presentation, we'll move into Q&A, and then we will have wrap up. Once the webinar ends, there is a survey that's going to pop up on your screen as soon as I end the webinar. Your feedback is really important as we use these surveys to help us with future webinars and programming. So we really appreciate it if you would stay on one extra minute after it ends to fill out a very brief 5-question survey. Before I turn it over to Amanda, I just want to take a few minutes to tell you more about the Women's Resource Center if you haven't or are unfamiliar with our organization. We've been empowering women in Manatee and Sarasota County since 1979. We have 3 locations, one in Bradenton, one in Sarasota, and one in Venice. And we serve over 9,000 clients a year, delivering over 7,000 hours of programming. Now, our mission at the Women's Resource Center is to engage, enrich, educate, and empower women of all generations. We're a place where a woman can call when they're not sure where to turn to for help. To do that, we offer a variety of programs, one of them being resource advising. So if you do have questions or you need resources, housing, childcare, transportation, medical, you can contact us and we'll provide you with organizations and referrals to those resources. We offer mental health counseling. We've got support groups and educational programs, career services, which this webinar is part of our career services. Educational workshops and programs, as well as scholarships. As well, we do have legal and financial consultation and education programs as well. All of this is offered at a low or no cost for many of the programs to women in the community. Now, since this webinar is about careers, I'll just take a little bit more time to tell you about our career services. So first, we have career coaching. It's a program that offers individual assistance in preparing for a successful job search. Now, that can include anything from career discovery, resume preparation, interviewing skills, networking techniques, navigating career sites like LinkedIn and Indeed. So, really, wherever you are on your career journey, we are equipped to help with our career coaches. We do also have a program called Digital Navigation, which is basically one-on-one computer tutoring. So that, again, we can help you navigate online job sites, upload resumes, and help with computers basics like Microsoft Office applications. Um, Again, in our career coaching program, we have specific resume writing coaches. So if you need a resume, you need help updating your resume, a resume or cover letter, excuse me, tailored to a specific job, we can help with that. Additionally, we have career closets. We have three of them, one in each of our locations, where we have free clothing, shoes, purses, accessories for women who are attending a job interview, who have just secured a job and need work attire. But we also serve clients that need clothing for any reason. So we have a mix of professional attire, casual attire. So it doesn't necessarily have to be related to a job. You're welcome to visit those career closets and shop for free. So, as a reminder, this is being recorded, so you can watch the replay in case you miss any of the information. We'll send that out in an email within 48 hours to everyone who registered, as well as any flyers, the presentation from Amanda, and any other materials. And that is it. Let me stop sharing, and I'm going to turn it over to Amanda, who's going to share her screen, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Right. You can see the screen good?
We got it.
All right. Well, thank you, Brent, for that introduction. So I'll start off by introducing myself. My name is Amanda Charbonneau. I am the Human Resource Business Partner at HCA Florida Blake Hospital. So that's going to be down off of 59th, really close to the Anna Maria Beach. I've been with the company since January of 2024, so I'm going on about 2.5 years now. I come from just a line of HR, worked my way through, kind of specializing in the employee engagement piece of it. That's kind of my favorite piece to it. I have my master's from SN, South New Hampshire University. And I just work with a really great team here. There's 4 of us, so it's a pretty small department here in the HR world. So we'll move on to a little bit about Blake, and I'll kind of introduce you to the team a little bit more. So we have 3 current locations. So we have our main hospital. That's going to be the one that people are most familiar with. That is going to be the one off of 59th. And we recently extended into having 2 freestanding emergency departments. So you will start seeing a lot of the organizations have these freestandings pop up. It's just a really beneficial way to get into different communities without building a whole hospital. So they do function as a regular emergency department. If you ever have to go see one, and you need to get transported to the main hospital, that's kind of how that works. But they can take care of a lot of just the basic ones. The Palmetto one, I think, has been like the biggest one because there really isn't too many out in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about our mission statement. So our mission statement is, above all else, we are committed to the care and improvement of human life. So that encompasses a lot within the healthcare community as it is. So it's going to be us prioritizing patient and customer safety. We have a whole quality team here that take, your feedback as patients very, very seriously. We are delivering high quality service of care. We treat people with dignity and respect, and then continuously improving services and outcomes and experiences as the healthcare, rules and laws and cultures change. We, make sure that we continuously keep up with all of that. But also just that kind of encompasses as well the improvement of human life, is that because we are a trauma hospital, it's not just about the care that you receive while you're here as an inpatient, but also how we help move that quality of life beyond it as you start to heal and maybe go into rehab and all the things that come in that healing process. So a part of that, and kind of encompassing the mission statement as well, is the community impact. So as the specialty care says, we are a level 2 trauma hospital. We are one of the only ones in our area. So we do provide critical care for Manatee, Sarasota, and DeSoto County. We're a comprehensive stroke, and then we do have a specialized burn unit. That is, we're trauma/burn in our specialty. So we do have our burn ICU, our burn unit, we have our burn clinic, pretty much anything related to burns. And then also just within the scope of community, charity, and volunteering. So as a staff member, we have the opportunity to engage with a lot of great companies and organizations in our area. So Meals on Wheels, for instance, twice a year, we engage with them with whether it's packing up meals or where we do decorating bowls that they go and they auction off in an event that they have in November. Blood drives, those are very important. We have the red bus here all the time. You don't have to work here. You can always just sign up and come there. And then we do a lot of internal events as well. So you will see a little bit later in a slideshow that I show you that we do beach cleanups. We do kind of like Habitat for Humanity, humanities and things like that. So you have a lot of opportunity to get out into the community with volunteering. Emergency response, that is us listening to the community in the freestandings that we have built, saying that, we need emergent care in these pockets that are kind of lacking that emergency care centers. So that's where we came across the South Bradenton, Palmetto, and I'm sure we'll have a few more coming as our Manatee, Sarasota counties start to continue to get popular and people move here. And then we actively partner with a lot of different organizations. I put just kind of 2 here, but there's a whole lot. We do a lot with the school district where we have students come here. We do a Stop the Bleed training with anyone, 13 and older. And then we train staff on how to respond to traumatic injury. I think just being a trauma hospital in general, but it's also just a good life lesson if you're outside of it. But how do we handle that? How do we respond to these traumatic things that are coming up and coming in through our doors? So I'm going to introduce you a little bit to our team. So this is Steve Young. Steve Young is our CEO. So Steve Young went through a leadership development through HCA, which I will show in a different slide. But it's kind of skyrocketed him, and he's gone through a lot of different roles. So a common thread that you'll see with HCA is just internal movement and opportunity for advancement. So Steve started out as a director of physician relations. He worked his way all the way, from 2009 to 2023, and he is now our CEO. Steve is one of the most engaged CEOs I've ever actually experienced. He is walking through the halls. He's talking to people. He's currently at a birthday lunch with all the May babies, celebrating them. We do a lot with just getting him in front of people so that they can voice their, concerns if there's concerns or just ideas. He really likes the idea that you come from other places and other experiences and that they may also benefit our hospital as well. And he wants to hear it. So he is very present. He is very committed. Employee engagement has, that's what I said in the beginning, that's my favorite part of HR. And fortunately, that's also the CEO's favorite part as well. Recognition and engagement. So we have our senior leadership team. We have in the common thread here, again, is going to be that they've been with HCA for a while. They may be new to Blake, like Hank, for instance, 5 years at HCA, but 1 year with Blake. He spent 4 years in Anchorage, Alaska. We have Paris Clark. She started out as just like an RN. She was just an RN, and then she moved into leadership. She started our burn program here actually a few years ago. She got offered a CNO, the chief nursing officer position at another location. She went and did that for a little while. So when ours opened up, it was just very natural for her to come back kind of where she started. Same with Erin O'Quinn. She had started in HCA in the northern state. I think it was New York. She's been here for 4 years. Sasha is also in our leadership development program. So she is our vice president of operations. Danielle, that's my boss. So she has been with HCA for 8 years, 4 years here at Blake. And then the last 2 started at HCA, but we still got them. So that is our vice president of quality. And then Frank, the mastermind behind all of our communications to staff and to the public. So I'm going to go through this one. This one looks really overwhelming, and I tried to include every single department that we have. Of course, there's little pockets and little positions that are out there. That's why I put the and more. So we have a whole lot to offer. We are not just looking for, nurses or doctors. All of these departments run our hospital. So communications, for instance, communications is going to be the overhead voices that you hear when you're at a hospital for code blues or rapid responses and things that have to get to the house in a timely manner. So it's a small little department. There's only like 5 of them in there. But again, crucial to our department, to the operations of our hospital. Case management, they are RNs by trade. So they're going to help get patients out of the door. They're trying to help you get into facilities if it's needed, any rehabs, things like that. They're going to be your best friend for getting out, which, as much as we love our patients, they want out of here. Most people do. So they're going to be your biggest cheerleaders on making sure that you get the right care. And like I said, they are RNs by trade. We do have a few social workers as well. Pharmacy, there is a big need for pharmacy. It's actually a very competitive area to work in. So we are, always looking for pharmacists and pharmacy techs. Unlike, Walgreens and CVS, we are a 24 operation. So we have both day and night shifts, which of course the night shifts are probably the hardest to fill in that sector. But we also have a pharmacy tech program that we can go over in a little bit. And then we have our other essential departments. So we have food services and housekeeping. These are really, really great ways for people to get into the hospital. And I'll go through the education assistance and kind of like a track you can go through. If you're just not sure where you want to go with healthcare, but you know that you want to get your foot in the door, these are really, really great opportunities. You get exposure to the entire hospital. Food services, for instance, they'll work the tray line, they deliver this food to the patients, they work the cafeteria, things like that. Housekeeping is crucial to our infections, making sure we're keeping those down. They're in the rooms cleaning them and sanitizing them after every single person. So they are very, very essential to making sure that we are keeping up with that. Laboratory. So laboratory is also a pretty critical one that we need more bodies in. We have medical technologists and phlebotomists that fall under that laboratory. Again, a very highly competitive department to try to staff. And we have a really, really great team right now. And so anyone knows any medical technologists, that's the one really that we're needing right now. Imaging is like a blanket for so many different things. So that's going to be radiology tech, MRI, ultrasound. We run a whole breast clinic here, so that can fall under that category, or interventional radiology that also falls under imaging. Respiratory again is another very highly competitive. There's not a lot of respiratory therapists out there to fill the gaps that hospital needs to staff respiratory. And that is a very, very critical role that we need people in. You're all over the hospital too. You're getting experience in all of these departments because you are sometimes in the ICU doing the critical units, or sometimes you're on med surg and in the rehab units. So it's a really, really go type role if you're, a registered or certified respiratory therapist. And then the ER, freestanding ED, and a lot of the other ones listed here: joint care, med surg, operating room, pre-post-op, ortho, neuro. These are all going to be like our nursing units. So while we do have unit secretaries, PCTs, and things like that, these are going to be mostly the nursing units here. And then plant operations, that's going to be, maintenance essentially. So we have some painters, and we have other guys that are just going around making sure we're fixing everything and that everything's in working order for everybody. Speech, occupational, and physical therapy is in one department. So you do have a lot of coworkers there. But those are going to be, again, all over the hospital. They're really essential to making sure our patients get the care that they need. We have an outpatient as well for the physical therapy. So just an additional benefit if you are needing physical therapy. We have infection prevention and quality. So a big part of every hospital is going to be making sure that you're controlling the infections and, ideally not having anyone pick up an infection while they're here. So we have a whole team dedicated to that. And under quality is also like if you were to have an issue with your, loved one's care or things like that, they're the people that would help handle that. Let's see. Sterile processing. So sterile processing is going to be making sure that all those equipments that go into the operating room are completely sterile, making sure, again, we're not having any infections and things like that. And then transport. Transport is another one that is entry level, but it's a really good way to break into the medical field if that's what you're looking to do. It is what you're doing. You're picking up patients and you're bringing them where they need to go, whether that's imaging or IR or the OR. You're just picking up and bringing them around. Highly active job. So what I'm going to do now, I do have this slide that I'm going to show next. It is one that I like to bring. I bring to a lot of the hiring events that I do, specifically even like the high schools that I go to. And the reason is because it nicely shows you a potential roadmap. Now, every roadmap, every pathway for everybody is going to look a little different. But this one is just kind of nicely put. It shows you the entry level positions, because when you are a full-time or part-time staff member with us, you do qualify for a lot of education advantages that I'll go over shortly. So if you got a full-time job as a housekeeper or in the food and nutrition or a patient care tech, these are all roles that are going to help you pay for school. So that's the goal, is to get you through and transition however you'd like. This pathway specifically is for people looking to get into the clinical world. So for instance, if you start as a patient care tech, which I'll go over in the next slide what it really entails, but the patient care tech is what people most similarly know as a CNA. So a CNA, and you can lead into more responsibilities. You can become a lead patient care tech. You can get training, and we provide the training to do blood draws and EKGs and things like that. So you can do advanced PCT, and all while you're gaining this experience and this knowledge of the nursing world. So then from there, you can continue on however you see fit. You don't have to be a patient care tech. You can go from housekeeping to nursing if that's how you find fit. That's fine too. But it's just a little pathway. It helps us try to show people all the different possibilities that you have to get you from point A to whatever your point B looks like. So starting out, patient care tech is probably our most common. For those that are looking to get into nursing, patient care tech is a really, really great way to start. And I really highly suggest most people that want to be nurses start out as patient care tech. Because you're really side by side from that nurse, and you're doing the things that allows the nurse to go do some other items. So you're going to be handling the vitals, the mobility, the personal care, dressing changes, anything that has nothing to do with medication. You're just the right-hand man to the nurses. And the reason that I like for people to start there if they're going to is it just gives you when you're a nurse, it gives you that towards the patient care tech that's helping you. You already know what they've gone through. Patient care tech is not always the cleanest job. You are doing a lot of the changings and things like that. But it's giving you the exposure that you need to not only the nurses, but the patient care itself. And then, handling families and all the stuff that come with a hospital stay. So the only requirement for this is basic cardiac life support, which you can get within 15 days of starting. And we do provide that training as well. And if you want to go into nursing, the next step would be a nurse extern. So a nurse extern is essentially a patient care tech with just a little bit more responsibilities, but not fully a nurse. So this is if you are enrolled and in good standing at an accredited school of nursing, which I'll go over in our benefit portion. And have one or more years of nursing school experience. So this is for those that have already started that trek. And you're going to do, again, the mobility and the comfort and the hygiene. You can do wound care, catheter care, collecting specimens. So again, very similar role to the PCT. You just have a little bit more responsibility. And your name badge showing nurse extern is showing, I'm in nursing school. This is my future. So there are a little bit more requirements in order to become a nurse extern, which are all right there, the BLS, the BCLS, and the BCLS is within 30 days. Again, we provide that training for you as well. So as you go through and you're in nursing school and you graduate your program, whether it be associates or the bachelor's, you then have the opportunity to go into the next role, which is going to be the graduate one nursing, resident one graduate nurse. So that is a program that we have for 12 months, for one whole year, that you just have extra support. So you've graduated from your nursing program and you're entering the workforce. It's a really, really great way for you to enter that workforce and have that extra like structure and support. So like this says, phase one, you're going to participate in hands-on training. You're going to have educators. Our education team is phenomenal and they will round on you all the time and make sure you're doing okay. This is when you're with preceptors and you're sitting side by side with the nurse as a nurse. And then phase two of that is they're going to focus more on the professional development. What does your future look for you? We offer a whole lot of specialties. So like I said, for instance, ours is more cardiac burn. If you are more interested in like mother and baby, like what does that path look like for you? We have other locations that do offer that as well. So this graduate one nurse, so you can actually apply for and start this job. You just have to have your NCLEX date already set before you accept the position. So you have to be able to say, hey, this is when I'm testing to become a nurse, because you have 60 days to get that Florida nursing. As you can see here, you need the degree as well. So and then right after that, you don't have to sign any other offers after you've graduated through the nursing resident program. Then we just put you directly into an official RN role. So some other programs that we do have as well. So we have a RAD to CT Tech program. So that is for radiology technologists that are ready to take that step and get a new modality underneath them. It's a 10-week certification program. You do have to be a RAD tech for at least a year, have a current ARRT, and the active license and BLS and things that come with the job description. It's been a really successful program. It's been a really good way for people to just gain exposure. And we do it all right here in-house. And then we have a pharmacy residency as well. So there's a lot of specialties when you're going into pharmacy. It could be, psych and things like that. So obviously ours, we're just doing like basic pharmacy resident. You have to be a graduate of an accredited school, which we have a list of with our recruiting team, and an active pharmacy license within 3 months. It's a really, really good way to, again, just get that actual exposure, hands-on training in a hospital pharmacy. Hospital pharmacy is a little bit different than a retail pharmacy. So if that's something you're looking into, then that would be a really great program. And then the executive residency is the one that I was telling you about. Steve, Hank, and Sasha all went through that. They started their journey into healthcare management, and they've worked their way up to these different roles. So it's going to be fast track development if you are looking into any sort of CEO, CFO, CNO, anything with an O, essentially, and then VP. So if you're looking into healthcare management and leadership, they have a really great program. You do have to have a master's in a US-based university, and they prefer for it to be in healthcare management. It obviously depends on where you feel like you are going in your direction. For instance, if I wanted to I have my master's in human resource management, that would suit very well if I wanted to be the VP of human resources. But I think that the healthcare management, encompasses all of what we would be looking for. So why HCA? You have a lot of options as healthcare professionals. You have, regular doctor's offices, you have other hospitals, other organizations, things like that. So I'm going to go over some of the reasons that I find HCA really does excel in. So we're going to go over physical, mental, and financial benefits, career growth and advancement, the access to education, training, personal development, opportunities. So opportunity in different departments or different locations and specialties and things like that. the presence in our community, and then focus on engagement and culture. So we use this one in our orientation, and I think that it's probably my favorite slide just because it shows all of the benefits. When people think of benefits, they think of pay and medical and dental, but benefits really surpasses all of that. And there's actually a more broad explanation of benefits. So for instance, education assistance, that's going to be my next slide. So we can go over that a little bit more in detail. But things such as hearing aid discounts, we do have, as you can see, medical. We have United Healthcare. Each division has a little bit different when it comes to what company they use. So we use United Healthcare. Free teledoc, which is just going to be your doctor on demand. See your doctor from your phone. We have prescription drug benefits, nicotine-free discounts, medical transport, which I'll go over in a little bit because it's kind of one of those funny ones that hopefully you never need, but a really great benefit to have. And then we have like our AFLAC, accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity as well. The time away from work is the protection that you will need if you are out of work for any length of time, whether it be intermittent FMLA, short-term, long-term, personal leave, anything like that. We do have a company that handles that, and they handle it flawlessly. They are phenomenal about setting you up to make sure that you have nothing to worry about. We do a lot with adoption assistance and fertility building, menopause and perimenopause. A lot of the little things that do have to do with health and mental that you don't really always think about. Same with mental health. We do a lot. We have 8 free sessions per topic per year. So people are able to call into a hotline and get a therapist within 48 hours. Obviously, if it's more critical, a lot faster. But if you're just looking for help, we have a lot of resources, and it's per topic. So if you're able to break it down, you get a lot more free for that. And then other financial things that we have, 401k match. PRN, you're able to give money to yourself, but they don't match it. So full-time and part-time, they do match. And then you have stock purchase plans, flexible spending accounts, all of these other great financial benefits, as long as you are full-time and part-time. So this one's my favorite because I think it's utilized the most, and I think that it should be utilized the most. So we have a lot of education assistance. So for instance, if you are looking to go back to school and you want help paying for it, because who doesn't? College is very expensive. We have tuition assistance. So this is going to be for the non-nursing, because nursing has their own thing. If you want to go get your associates, and if you want to go get your bachelor's or your master's, whatever it is that you're looking for, we do reimburse $5,250 per year, and that's a lifetime max of $21,000. So if you are just looking to go back and you want help paying for it, like I said, a lot of those entry-level positions, whether it's transport or unit secretary or food services, as long as you work full or part-time for us, you do qualify. So again, with the education assistance, you do sign on, like if you accept it, you do sign on for 2 years commitment, but they do help towards that. Same with student loan assistance. So this is one that if you are already paying on student loans, and you submit to them saying, here, this is what I pay every month, HCA will actually pay your lender directly, just to help, get that balanced out. Even if it's just paying the interest, $100 a month, that's still going to be helpful in chipping away at that expense. And then Galen. So HCA owns Galen, is Galen, however we want to look at it. But Galen is always going to be the recommended nursing school if that is what you opt to do. So after you've completed 90 days of service, say you are a PCT or in the kitchen or anything like that, they do have the direct bill that will help you get through nursing school at no cost to you. So that is going to be obviously very beneficial because there's no student loans there. And also, if you want to if you're already an RN and you're looking to get your BSN, if you're a full-time or part-time colleague, then you get to go to Galen at no cost to you, no out of pocket, no annual or lifetime maximum. So that's a really great one, especially if you're already Galen's probably one of the more prominent schools in our area anyways. So just another benefit for you there. clinical pathways, and then certifications. So we do a lot of reimbursements for certifications as well. They have to be certifications that are not required for your job, because it will obviously be expected that you already hold those certifications. But if you want to get something extra, they do help pay for those. And with the nurses, with the RN certifications, it sometimes comes with a certification bonus of $2 extra per hour as well. So the education benefits are always my favorite. I thought that that was the coolest part of working for HCA, because they really do try to set you up for success. And then some other financial ones. So as I kind of already went over, there's a lot with fertility, family building, adoption assistant, things like that. Life support or life insurance is already provided by HCA at one-time base salary, but then you can opt for more. Comprehensive 401k match. They match as a new hire, they would match 3%. And then stock purchase at a discount. And then the AirMed is the one that I told you I'd come back to. So if you travel more than 150 miles from home and you become hospitalized, they'll actually pick you up and bring you to an HCA. So if you have our insurance, bring you to an like a closer HCA hospital will save you a lot of money, because hospitals are expensive. So I always just thought that was really cool that they offered that. No copays, they're not taking your debit card, nothing. You just submit that you are an HCA employee. They're going to pick you up and bring you to another HCA location. Adoption assistance, another one, and then a referral bonus as well. So if you start here, even if you start and it's day 2 and you recommend somebody else and they start, once they hit their 90 days, you can be eligible for a sign-on bonus depending on their role. So some more hard to fill positions can come with an up to $3,000 sign-on bonus. A lot of them are $250, some are $500, some are $1,000. They kind of range, just again depending on what positions we are needing to fill. So again, if you have anybody that you know works here, or you're coming on and you want to tell somebody else to, just make sure you guys are putting the names on the application. That's the most important part. That's the only way for us to know you know that person before you started here. And then the other benefit that I want to talk about is location. So we are one of the largest healthcare organizations. We have 19 states that we cover, and the United Kingdom, which is kind of cool. And we expand to over 180 hospitals, and we have over 2,500 of those freestanding sites. So how does this benefit you? So if you are, a lot of our transitions that we see are spouses, getting another job or having to go home to take care of a family member, things like that. So with having a wide stretch, it's really nice, because then you can internally transfer. We're very, very, very big on internal transfers. So us in HR will actually help you get aligned to get those interviews up at your new location, things like that. So it just takes that stress off of you for having to now not only like move your life somewhere else, but also like you can already be set up at an HCA facility. Then it also comes with the benefit of having so many locations. As I talked about earlier, we're a level 2 trauma burn hospital. That is not everyone's jam. And sometimes they want to do other specialties. So maternity, NICU, mental health. There's a lot of different specialties in the healthcare world. So if you start your career here at Blake, get your bearings and decide what you want to do, it's again super easy to transfer over to another sister facility. For instance, if you really just want to work with babies in the NICU, Brandon Hospital up in Tampa, they have a mother baby, they have a NICU. So you have a lot of options. We all kind of specialize in something different. So again, if you have the flexibility to move, and this is something that you're really interested in, but also just having these other specialties, like for instance, if you just think that you're interested in NICU, I can align it with the Brandon HR to where you can go up and shadow. There's a lot of opportunity for that here. If you start here in a burn unit and you're like, this is not it, I don't like it, you don't have to go find another job. Guess what? We have a whole lot of other departments for you. And I think that's probably a lot of what we do is we work on getting people in the right spaces. to make sure that they're the most successful that they're going to be, whether that be shadowing at another department in our facility or another sister facility. We have a lot south, we have a lot north of us as well. So we have a lot of that to offer. And then the next slide, I'm going to have to unshare, reshare, just so you can get the sound. So just give me 1 second. Actually, real quick, let me just speak to this a little bit before I show it. All right, so culture. As I told you, Steve is really, really big on culture, and HR is really, really big on culture. And, you win some, you lose some. We work really, really hard at making sure that everyone's respecting each other and that everyone's having the best day that they can. With it being a trauma hospital, we can't hit that mark every day, but we can do our part. So I want to show you a video. This video is what Frank put together. He's from our marketing team. And this is like a recap of 2025. So this is what we showed our staff in our town hall meetings. And I think it really encompasses how we are as a hospital and the things that we do for our people and the things that we do for our community. So now I will share.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no. Yeah. I just want to tell you right now that, I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah.
Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab me, crabs in the bucket can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. G5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. A whole body boy, plus laid back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling.
The mountaintop, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond, platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mouth. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no, I get a good feeling.
Let's get it, let's get it. Gotta love the life that we live in. Let's get it, let's get it. I know you got the good feeling. Let's get it, let's get it. Gotta love the life that we live in.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never feel before. I get a good feeling, yeah.
All right. So I don't know. That one just always amps me up. That was just 2025. I've been here for 2.5 years, and if we made one for every year, it'd be really cool to look back at. We do a lot, as you can see. There's a lot of food. We really like to celebrate with food. And we do a lot of parties. We like to do them in-house. We do some outside where we get all dolled up and do things like that. Bring Your Kids to Work Day has been a huge success, where kids are able to come in and kind of see what mom and dad do throughout the day. So there's just a lot of opportunity. If I filled a whole slide with everything that we did and pictures of it, I'd be here for a lot longer than my allotted time. So I'm going to give you, there's the QR code. So that's going to have all of Blake's open positions. And then there's the email and phone number as well. So if you have any questions regarding any positions or anything like that, do not hesitate. Email is usually a little bit better. HR is very all over the hospital. So we're not always just sitting in the office. So the email is usually the better way. And we do respond pretty quickly to that email. But if you have any questions about qualifications or, whatever it comes to, you can always feel free to reach out to us. One of us will reach out to you regarding whatever your question is. So I will kick it back to Brent now.
Yes, thank you so much, Amanda. Gosh, yeah, that video got me hyped. I'm like, I'm
Right?
ready. Take on the rest of the day. Everyone, please, we've got 10 minutes remaining, so if you do have questions, please pop them into the Q&A. Amanda, I think what I loved the most was seeing, all of the employee benefits, especially the educational reimbursement. We have so many clients that are pursuing degrees in healthcare, nursing, LPNs, things like that. Many of them go to Galen, actually. So that's a great resource, because we know it can be a little expensive without scholarships or assistance. So that is fantastic, that you offer reimbursement there and that you own Galen. Or
Yes.
yeah, I should say owns Galen. So fantastic. So we do have a few questions. I think you might have mentioned this on one of the slides, but what are the qualifications to be a PCT? Was that just the cardiac?
Yeah, that's just the basic cardiac life support, and that is something that we supply. That's after, you just have to get it within 2 weeks of being employed, but that is something that we would definitely line up for you. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So perfect. So that
Yeah,
makes
PCT is a great
part of
starting
it's
ground.
kind of part of your onboarding with
Yeah.
Enroll.
Yep.
Awesome. Um, yeah, I don't. Any other questions? Pop them into the chat. We got a few comments. I'm, loving the vibe, the push to move employees up to another level, which I thought was great too. All the career
Yeah.
laddering and advancement potential, I think everyone can see clearly,
Yeah.
you can start in an entry level role and really work your way up, which is really,
Yes.
really fantastic. We do have a question here. Any LPN positions open for the OR or ER?
I would have to, I'm not sure about the open positions that we have. We do have LPNs. We just have kind of fewer
Okay.
LPN positions. I do know, I think someone had recently left. So I think we do in the ER.
Right.
Don't hold me to it. I don't know all of the open recs that we have, but if you go onto that QR code in that website, and it's really easy to navigate, just type in LPN, they'll show you any of them that are open.
That's awesome. All
Yep.
right. So Tequila, go ahead and just check out the job posting for any of the
Yep.
LPN jobs. There was a follow-up to that. Will HCA help with tuition reimbursement if someone's already enrolled in their BSA program, BSM program and starts working, or is it only if you start the degree program once you're already working?
Well, you do need to have 90 days of service, so the typical like probationary period.
Right.
And then that's something we have EdAssist is a program that we use and they handle all of our education assistance and things like that. So if you're already in the program, I do believe that you can enter it. It would just be because that is something that they would just pay for. Is it at, do we know if it's at Galen? Did it say?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what school.
Okay.
If you're still on post what school you're doing. Yes, Galen.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's a lot easier, obviously, if you're a Galen to do that. But yeah, after you hit that 90 days mark is when you become qualified for it.
Beautiful. That's awesome. And then there were some questions about the QR code back on the screen. We're nearing the end, so I just want to remind everyone we are going to send out Amanda's presentation with the recording of this webinar, so you will have that QR code in that presentation. That should hopefully be out by the end of today, tomorrow at the latest. So be on the lookout. You can also just go to HCA Florida or Blake Hospital's website, go to the career page, and view open positions there as well. So doesn't look like we have any other questions, Amanda. Everyone is
Okay.
just chiming in that they appreciate all the information and that it was a really, really great presentation. So lots of great feedback and comments, which reminds me, everyone, as soon as we end this webinar, stay on 1 extra minute for that survey. We really, really appreciate it. And Tequila had a question about providing a resume. Because I think you would attach that to a job if you applied, or that email address. You could
Yeah.
potentially email maybe your resume, but I think it's probably better to submit it with the job application, Amanda. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all the applications have to come through electronically. I do it sometimes at hiring events where I do take resumes and I forward it to the recruiter that would handle that. But it will still have to go through the online process, and you can upload
Okay.
it there. It'll give you the option to upload it there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Amanda. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Amanda. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and you'll see that survey in just a few seconds. Bye,
Thank you all.
everyone.
Bye.